course, other racial and ethnic minorities have had to fight for their rights as well. Native Americans, for example, this is the oldest, the poorest, the highest rate of suicide, the highest rate of alcoholism of any racial group in America. They weren't even made U.S. citizens until 1924. And in 1946, we did establish an Indians Claims Act to settle some financial disputes arising from land taken from the Indians, which, of course, was an awful lot of land. It's also worth pointing out that Indian tribes exist in kind of a strange legal sphere where they have some controls outside the U.S. government. In Santa Clara Pueblo v. Martinez, a woman sues because the tribe only allows members whose father was Native American, regardless of whether the mother was or not. So if a tribal member who's a woman gets pregnant and has a baby and the dad isn't part of the tribe, the kid isn't part of the tribe. And the Supreme Court said, while this is clearly gender discrimination, the federal government doesn't get to tell the tribes their laws. This is based on a long idea that the tribes are kind of independent nations within our nation. Hispanic Americans, as you may have heard, have faced some degree of discrimination. They're the largest minority group in America, at about 14% of the population and growing. They're also becoming more and more of an important force in elections, as both the Republican and Democratic parties have made serious efforts to cater to the Hispanic vote, and that's only going to grow going forward. The battle over Hispanic American political support is probably the great frontier in elections over the next few decades. Asian Americans. Asian Americans are the fastest growing minority group. They're up to a little over 4% of the population. The important case here is Korematsu versus the United States, and this deals with the internment of the Japanese in World War II under FDR. And in this case, the Supreme Court said that the U.S. could intern the Japanese because it served a vital defense purpose. Of course, 1944 was in the middle of World War II, so attitudes were probably a little bit different now. Today, I think most Americans see the internment of the Japanese as a massive violation of civil rights and a black mark on American history. There are also 1.2 million persons of Arab ancestry in the United States who've had a hard time of it lately, of course, since the 9/11 attacks. And for example, we just saw a Sikh temple up in the Midwest get shot up and a number of people killed there in an act of what seems to clearly be a racial or ethnic discrimination. And so that's been an important cause lately. Other groups have recently been trying to assert civil rights with not necessarily a lot of success. For example, there's a group out there who believe that overweight people should be given civil rights and not be discriminated against hiring, or even ugly people, although it's a little difficult to determine who's ugly and who's not. But these have been serious conversations that have generated serious court cases. Where exactly do we draw the line? Of course, gender identity and issues of sexuality have also caused new problems in how do we define minority groups in this country and how do we protect their rights.